So guys, excuse me, we are about to give you some of our red flags in men, in relationships in general. So we're first going to start with our own definitions of what a toxic relationship is. Brooke, go ahead.
Okay, so a toxic relationship to me is going back to your ex numerous times, because why are you guys still going back to each other? I feel at that point you guys have already burned enough bridges. At that point you just need to leave and find something else.
A toxic relationship for me is staying in something that is like hard and like is continuously hard every single day, and like constantly fighting. You're not on the same team. You're not like really, you're not happy. So I just feel like that's a toxic relationship. Like when there's more bad than good, you know? So what are some of your red flags, Brooke?
So my first red flag would be talking to your ex. I feel that you guys broke up for a reason. So there's no reason to still have contact with one another.
Or be friends with your ex.
Right,
or
like just wish one another the best and move on.
Right.
Because now that's ruining our relationship at that point.
And it's like also, what are you guys even talking about? Like, why are you over here comparing our relationship to the relationship with your ex? Like,
that's a big one.
get back with her or him. Like, get back with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not it.
I would also say bad hygiene.
Yeah. Long nails.
Right.
Stinky breath.
You see,
like,
girls have to do so much to keep up with just basic maintenance, whether that's hair, nails, you know, teeth, like all those things that cost money. Yeah, waxing.
And like,
so if you can't take care of something so basic, when I'm putting in all this effort, the energy that we're giving to our relationship is not matching up, I don't fuck with that.
Exactly. So one of my red flags is men who name drop. I really hate this. Like, if I'm having a conversation with you, one of our first conversations, and you sit there and you tell me, oh, you've been around this celebrity, you know this person, you over here doing this, that, and the third, bro, you're lame. Bro, you are so fucking lame to me, because it's like, first of all, that type of stuff doesn't impress me. So you telling me that, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, another human? What? Like, what does that have to do? That doesn't do anything for me. Who said I even want to be around those people? Who said that? So I just feel like you're really corny and lame if you're over here name dropping and you're over here trying to get clout off of somebody else.
What's weird for me is guys that care so much about your past with other men, because I didn't even know you then. So why are you bringing something up now when I didn't even knew you existed?
Right. And it's like, that's why, like, honestly, in my next couple of, like, my next relationship, whatever, the past is a past for a reason, baby. We do not have to talk about it. I've been there, done that. I am not the same girl that I was when I was going through that stuff. You're getting the new me. So we're not talking about that. We can have like one or two conversations about that and like what we've been through, but we do not need to keep reliving that. Like, we do not need to keep bringing that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
And it also bothers me too when guys want to know every single detail about your past, because half of the time what you're asking you don't want to hear. So that causes even a bigger problem, because now we're just reliving our past. We're getting into all these fights again of me not even knowing you at that point.
Right. Another one of my red flags is someone that only talks about themselves, aka someone that is like a narcissist, like just obsessed with themselves. They don't care about what anybody else is going through. They only want to do what benefits them. And it's like, especially in a relationship, you have to care about yourself, but you're also in a relationship with someone else, you know? So I just can't be with a narcissist personally.
Yeah. I've done my time with that, not doing that shit again.
Right. How do you feel about mama boys?
Ugh. So here's the thing. I like guys to have a good relationship with their mom, but not too good of a relationship. Because in a relationship, we are supposed to be a team. And when you're constantly going to your mom and trying to compete, I'm trying to compete with your mom, we're just not going to work out. So I don't fuck with the mom boys.
Yeah. And also, it's like, who wants to be in competition with your mom? Like, you're never gonna be as good as the mom. You're always gonna get compared to, oh, well, you don't want to do that, but my mom would do it. Okay, hey, go get with your mother then. Like, what is it? Like, I don't care.
But here's the thing too with that. Like, have your mom cook that dinner then if it's so good, because everything you're gonna compare when I'm putting in my best effort to make you a good home cooked meal, and you don't appreciate that because your mom cooked it better. So I think you should ask her for that specific meal and not compare me and mama.
Well, how about you cook? How about that?
Right.
Since that's your mother, you should know how to cook it then. But then, like, what's a good thing about, like, when you're with a mama's boy is, like, when the relationship is done, you also are done with the mother. So it's like win-win.
Yeah. I do not have to fake my kindness to you no more.
Right.
Like,
oh my God.
You are going on block now.
It is so hard sometimes, like, when the moms start getting involved, like, it just changes the whole dynamic. Like, it makes shit so much more serious. And then, like, you have to be, like, on your best behavior kind of around them. Like, it's just, Another one of the red flags that I have is when you're with somebody, this still goes with, like, the narcissism thing. When you're with somebody that is always in competition with you. And I know a lot of men secretly hate their, like, girl, or secretly hate, like, the person that they're with because they're jealous of them and they're in competition with them. But if you're in a relationship, it should be like a partnership. Like, it should be a team effort.
Mm-hmm. And I think that goes back to the idea of, like, toxic masculinity. Whatever the fuck they say about that. Like, guys are expected to, you know, like, make money, and girls are supposed to do, like, 50-50 or, like, housework, yada yada.
How do you feel about, like, the sassy men? You know, like, now men want you to pay for the date, like the first date. Men want the flowers. Men want all this stuff. And I get it, like, at the end of the day, we're all human. We, like, a relationship should be, you know, dual parties are both taking care of each other, but it's just getting a little bit too sassy for me. Like, why? I don't need to be chasing you. I am a woman. I don't want to chase a man.
Yeah.
I just can't with the sassiness. I want like the realest dude alive.
Okay, also,
For me,
I do need princess treatment in all of the relationship, but especially at the beginning. Because I'm not going to bend over backwards for you when I don't know if you would do the same for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, I feel like with that, like, it can kind of teeter-totter the line of, like, really, it's like a really good honeymoon phase, or are they just love bombing you? You know what I'm saying? So
love bombers.
Love bombers.
Love bombers will do it to you.
Oh my God. And that's how a lot of women get attached to a dude, because they'll love bomb you for like a month, and then all of a sudden they'll, like, the energy will change. The energy will shift, something's different, and they won't be giving you that same energy, and then, like, you want that, and then you know that they're capable of it, so then that's how, and I'm talking from personal experience, that's how you kind of, like, I don't know, fall into something with somebody.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Yeah. Another thing that we said was all of the problems that you have with someone, and they, like, go and tell their friends everything. How do you feel about that?
I think that that's something that you guys should be working out, you and him, or him and her, because getting other people involved, especially, like, your friends, they're always going to side with you, most likely.
Right.
And that's going to create even a bigger problem in a relationship.
Right. sometimes it's cool to get like some advice from your friends and certain things in your relationship.
I agree. Like, you shouldn't cut them out.
Yeah, but I don't think like they need to know every single detail or every single fight that you have or every single thing. Like, maybe like, you know, once in a while you ask like your friend for some advice on what you should do. But like, again, some things just you need to have like clear boundaries. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it gets tricky though, because I've been in both situations where I've been in relationships where I cut out all my friends because like they were all telling me like, leave this man, yada yada yada, and like obviously like at the time like I thought I was like in love,
Right.
and you know, they were trying to help me, but I didn't see it in that way. But I've also been in like other relationships where I've told friends everything, and that also creates a problem too, because there's some things that they don't know about, and you also don't know like who's giving their best like input sometimes. Like, there's a lot of things that people don't know.
Well, I think maybe like with that, like you just kind of have to use your discernment. Like, okay, so if I ask someone that I know every relationship they ever been in has failed, some relationship advice, and they give me their advice, I need to use some discernment, because there's a reason why every single relationship they've been in has failed. Like, there's a reason why I'm asking the person that has been married for 50 years some relationship advice about me and my relationship, because they've been married for 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Do you think that like marriage counselors are beneficial if someone hasn't been married for 50 years? Like, do you think that marriage counseling is something that people should go to
before they get
relationship
married?
counseling?
Or
Yeah.
well, I feel like counseling and therapy in general is really amazing, because it's just sometimes nice to like pour your problems out to someone that is not related to you in any way, and they have like a very objective way of hearing it from hearing you state your facts. So I feel like counseling is very beneficial, and if you're if you are in a relationship with someone and you like dearly love them and they dearly love you, and you know it's really hard and you don't know what it is, I really feel like you should try counseling before you give up, because I'm a big advocate for leaving someone or leaving somewhere when you're not happy. And before, if you really genuinely love them, I really feel like you should at least fight your hardest before you end up leaving, if you want, if it goes there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the tough part about relationships though, is, you know, finding when that line has been crossed, and, you know, finding when those boundaries have been crossed, and wondering like if a relationship is worth it or not to keep fighting for.
But I think like when you tell someone your boundaries
And they disrespect them,
disrespect it and they cross the
that's when you know
boundaries,
it's done.
don't even let them ever get a chance to cross that boundary again. That's it. That's done. There's no more. Like, if you make it clear, like, okay, if you do this ever, if you do this one more time, like, I'm done. You have to stick to your guns. Like, there is no going back. I know it's like probably gonna be really hard to transition at first, but literally you have to respect your own boundaries if they don't.
Could also talk about like why relationships are a lot harder like these days. Do you see it that way? Because I do. I feel like relationships have gotten a lot harder because of social media, and because, you know, you follow a guy or you go on a dating app and you're like, okay, like they follow like 10 different girls. Like, does that make you want to stop dating because they may know some mutual people that you know?
Do I think relationships are harder? Yes and no. Like, I feel like I don't really know how relationships were anytime other than when I started dating, like, because I try to go based off of my own personal experience, and I don't really know how hard relationships were back in the day when, like, you couldn't see somebody or shoot them a text to know what they're doing, or you couldn't FaceTime somebody that is like in another state from you, or like call them on the phone. So I don't really necessarily like, everything has its own struggles, but the whole social media aspect, and y'all know, if you watch my YouTube, you know how I feel about social media in general. But I feel like I hate the fact that it's just so like everybody is kind of super connected, and like it's just like a really untrustworthy time, because you really never know somebody till you see what's in their phone, to be honest. Like, you never really know that person. So I don't know, because I like had like my own personal issues, like, and I've seen like some stuff in some phones before, and that has changed everything. And I don't know, like.
All right, so let me ask you this: what's your opinion on going through phones? Do we feel like that's toxic? Do we feel like that's necessary?
I feel like, okay, so I want to be in a relationship where if my significant other gives me their phone, they are not stressed out about the fact that I'm on their phone. Because maybe, what if I accidentally, if you tell me to text somebody on your phone, I want you to feel just as comfortable, like if I give you my phone and I want you to text somebody, because I won't have shit to hide in my phone because I'm not doing shit, right? That's how I want it to be, a trustworthy relationship. Now, if I am getting a gut feeling, you don't ever want me to be around your phone, you are very sus about it, every time I'm around you, you have to turn to put your password in, oh baby, that's my intuition.
Red.
I need to go on that phone. Okay? And honestly, I don't think, okay, so I used to, like, when I was younger, I did not like the whole going through the phones thing, because like my mom would go through my phone when I was younger.
Yeah,
so it was like
an
invasion of privacy. So I was like, I don't want my significant other to do it. So I just wanted to be like, but if I'm getting a feeling, a gut feeling that I need to go through that phone, I will. And I guess vice versa, since I have to be fair. Like, if I need to go through somebody's phone, then they might have to go through my phone. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. But I think if you trust somebody, it shouldn't have to go there.
I agree with that. I would definitely not be with someone if they were snooping through my phone, but if you need to use my phone, you can use it. But obviously, like, if I don't trust something, you know, I'm going to look through your phone, and I feel like that's acceptable.
Right. And then most times you'll find it.
A big thing for me too is location. Like, I need to know where you are at all times.
Yeah, I like sharing locations. I do like sharing locations. Even like as
it helps me trust more.
Safety issue.
Yeah, and a safety issue.
Like, say if my significant other got in a car crash or something, and they're not answering the phone or nothing, and I see like that their phone is at the highway and it's been there for X amount of time, I'm probably gonna put two and two together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, or you know, somebody gets kidnapped or whatever, and they got their phone on them. You know, like, I just feel like it's a safety issue at the end of the day.
I'm out of town, thugging with my round, my coochie pink, my booty hole